Today's episode of Davis and Chace is sponsored by Anchor Fitness. Anchor Fitness is a veteran-owned small business dedicated to helping others through OCR and fitness coaching. Rich from Anchor Fitness is an ISSA certified fitness trainer, exercise therapist, and nutrition specialist who's passionate about helping people overcome the obstacles that stand in the way of being the best version of themselves possible. Having overcome many personal injuries himself, he understands the unique challenges related to physical fitness disabilities and limitations. He personally reached out to me to let me know that he helps improve his clients' overall physical health, but also their mental well-being by building a support system and community around his training techniques. If you are in New Mexico and you're anywhere near this guy, I want you to go check him out. It's Anchor Fitness. That's anchorfitabq.com. Every journey begins with the first step. And if you like fitness and you like Breaking Bad references and you want to hang out in Albuquerque, go see this guy. He wants to take those steps with you as the premier OCR fitness coach in New Mexico. That's anchorfitabq.com. That's anchorfitabq.com. Good day, everyone. Welcome to an episode of Obstacle Discourse with Davis and Chace. For those of you new to the program, this is a show that goes live every Thursday where Josh Chace of New England Spartans and Matt B. Davis of, this channel dive into weekly news topics. It's about 15 to 30 minutes, and we hope you enjoy the regular episodes of Matt Davis's amazing interviews and live stuff and whatever the heck else I do is every Tuesday, 6 a.m. Thanks so much for listening.
So much to cover.
Welcome back, everybody. This week's episode of Davis and Chace. Who could have known, Josh Chace, the life this thing would have taken on? Dare I say, if the regular episodes went away, I think people would be like, they wouldn't even care. Like, just bring us more Matt and Josh.
I mean, is that what you want to happen? Because I don't know that that's a good thing for you. But
well, it's not really a plan for, what do you call it? It's not a plan for, it's not a long-term plan. But I do enjoy this, and thank you everybody, by the way, for the feedback, and thank you for everybody who has joined the Discord, the place to be for exciting obstacle chatter for your brainwaves. So I want to
happening all day long there now. It's so busy that there is constant conversation.
There really is. There really is. Every time I go back, there's something that just happened in one of the groups. Sometimes it's general mayhem. Sometimes it's real questions. But as we've said multiple times, it's still small enough that there's no real trolls. There's no real anger. We had one anonymous guy showed up, but he doesn't seem to be coming back. And so anyway, it is true, in fact, OCR discourse.
Yeah, and I'll mirror your sentiment about thanking everybody for feedback, because I got a ton of people down in San Antonio saying, love the show, love what you're doing. We went into a bar the night before the race, and I actually heard people saying my name in the background, like, that's Josh Chace. And that was very awkward for me. If you want to say hi, you're welcome to just come up and say hi. I'm fine with that. Kevin Donahue in the start line came over to me and shook my hand. He's like, I love what you guys are doing. It's a whole different type of media coverage. The sport needs it. So really cool to hear all the feedback.
And then did he later say, why did Matt B. Davis call me out on my podium?
Well, it's Matt B. Davis being Matt B. Davis, right? Kevin Donahue.
Listen, I think this is actually, I think this is a great place to start. It's fine. So who can possibly keep up with all the skipped burpees, all the who knows what goes on there, right? But something that I will not stand is the fake podium, or I think Atkins came up with the term fodium, F-A-U-X-D-I-U-M, fodium. And you can't say I won today. You can't do that. You got to say I won my age group. You can't say, oh, but I'm holding a picture of my medal. Nope, can't do it. His post, in fact, said, great to be back on top, blah, 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 blah. You know what you're writing, dude. You know exactly what you're writing. So whenever anybody does that, I just nicely put in the comment section, I thought, so-and-so won today. I've done it to men. I've done it to women. Just say the word age group and be proud of it. I have been thrilled with my age group podiums at my tiny local 5Ks. Josh is writing a vicious note right now, or
No, I'm checking to make sure my Instagram post called out that I was top 10 in my age group. It did.
Of course it did, because any person who's not trying to fake accolades says that. So that's all. Like I said, when I've cracked the top 3 or top 5 or whatever I'm trying for, I would never just say, and then, anyway, I think it speaks for itself. So cut it out. Podium's out there.
All right.
All right. So we had a pretty interesting chat last week. Speaking of feedback from people, we had an interesting chat last week about if Amelia Woods was the Tiger Woods or Tom Brady. I don't think I'm going to bring back the what do you call those?
I don't know, but you just called her Amelia Woods. Amelia Boone. And actually, thank you for just moving your head out of the way, because I thought the thing behind you said Shazam. It says Shalom.
I know, made by my wife. Very cool, right?
Right.
And I actually told her to listen because I thought it would be interesting to us compare her to the best athletes in the world. But she, in fact, got very upset and didn't like what you said.
I was accused of being too rough on her. And then I went back and listened again, and I had Molly listen, and I said, listen to this and tell me if it's coming off more harsh than I think it was coming off. And I think there was at least one comment in there that maybe came off a little brash. I didn't mean to call her like a has-been. I think she's still a phenomenal athlete. I think her focus in terms of what she's going to be a phenomenal athlete on is just different now. But I think my main message of the OCR world has advanced past the level of, the 2015 Amelia Boone is still valid. So
I just realized I'm not wearing my headphones, which means that
you may get some echo.
I will definitely get echo in the podcast version. I'm really mad because that means more editing work for me. God damn it. Video fans enjoy. Shit. That's what happens.
It really bugs me.
But see,
stepping into Tech Corner for a second.
Oh, no.
It really bugs me that Apple doesn't make their stupid MacBooks with their own goddamn lightning charger. I have to carry 2 pairs of headphones around now.
I do too.
Pisses me off.
I do
okay,
too.
Anyway, back to Amelia Woods. I thought most of our statements were right on top of it. And at first when she heard it, she did say we were being a little harsh. But I think she came around and was like, maybe it's right. And if I'm going to be in the public eye, then I've got to be able to take criticism. And I gave her all the credit in the world for putting stuff like that out there, because most people won't put that crap out there. They'll just use it as an excuse. Like, I didn't finish as well today because of this nagging injury. She's like, I am fucking hurt and I can't do anything about it. And I am now on the lam. So,
well, I got to say it's been, I've said it on here multiple times, and I feel like it kind of keeps coming up that everybody wants OCR to be this big, legit sport, but, except for when somebody has anything negative to say, whether it's about a race or a person. And as I'm always saying, every sports reporter in the world, every blogger, every writer is free to say, I think this person's a has-been, or I think this person's not the best, or I think this coach is an idiot, with zero repercussions because there's 10,000 faces. We're the only ones doing this for the most part. There is more and more OCR content out there, but sorry athletes, sorry whoever, you gotta toughen up, because this, if we want to be a real sport, guess what? The good comes with the bad. And, God forbid we do get on ESPN and we get, listen, Keith Allen wrote the great article when Battlefrog met the real internet, right? When Twitter heard about Battlefrog and went fucking nuts, was like, what the fuck is Battletoads, right? It's like, that's what happens when you meet the internet. So let's talk about topic number 3, Josh versus City Challenge. I will let you tell the entire story as it unfolds.
I will tell the entire story. And before we tell the story, can you just not let me forget to talk about the cheaters and OCR before the end of this episode? Because I want to go into rant corner at the end of this.
Whoa. So, sorry, I got a text. I went back and looked. Say that again.
All right. So by the end of this, we're going to go into rant corner, and Josh is going to talk about the cheaters that he ran into on course.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. All right.
It's going to be full on just semi-angry mode for the next 15 to 20 minutes. So just dig in and
should we get a special filter or a special logo for this corner?
No, I mean, you can decide that later.
As the production goes higher and higher, when we do Tech Corner, there's a little, dunce cap on me, right? And then for you, we'll get maybe a rawr, an angry rant corner.
All right, so here we go. This now, most people don't know anything about what I'm about to talk about, and that's totally fine. If you do, great. If you don't, this is probably going to sound like unnecessary drama, but I'm going to tell this story anyway because I feel like people need to know who is running the races that they participate in, right? You don't want to run a race that's run or owned by what I believe is an a-hole. So let me tell this story. So City Challenge, everybody probably knows the race, right? They
actually no. If you live outside of New England or outside of OCR Discord, you probably don't. It's a very East Coast, Northeast Coast race. So
okay, all right. So City Challenge, it's a Northeast U.S. race, primarily in the tri-state area, New York, New Jersey. Has come up to New England, has had a race in Lowell, Massachusetts, which is outside of Boston. Their obstacles have been at the North American OCR Championships. The obstacle was 2 cars parked next to each other that you jumped over. It was sort of laughable. So the head of that race is a gentleman whose name is Elvi Guzman or Guzman. I might be pronouncing it wrong. So I have never run a City Challenge. That's dying. Are you okay? You all right? Okay. So let me begin by saying I have never run a City Challenge race, not one. Have I gone to their website? Sure. Have folks from our community run the race? Sure. But the ongoing joke with City Challenge, at least in our group, is that you get an email from them advertising a race like every other day, right? City Challenge, Hoboken. You get an email for it. And you, like the Spartan emails, the nutrition of the day and the workout of the day, you unsubscribe and they go away. However, City Challenge has this unique distinction of not being able to figure out their email list. Now, in the grand scheme of things, this is not a big deal, right? You just unsubscribe from an email and that's fine. But what they do is they have some company that manages their email list, and every time they create a new race, they create a new, duplicate of that list. So I've been getting emails for the last 3 years of City Challenge events, of the Hoboken Turkey Trot, of the City Challenge Cup, of the Youth Challenge Race, all this garbage just over and over and over again. So as a running joke in our private group, the New England Spartans, we would post screenshots and be like, hey, we got another City Challenge race. Look at that. Let me unsubscribe to this one on all 4 of my email accounts. And a week later, we would get another one. No big deal. So sometimes we'll tag Elvi because he asked to be in the group because he's a race director in New England. Say, sure, if you want to be in the group, here you go. But you know what? You're going to get feedback from us. And he's heard from us for well over a year, right? Well over a year about, hey, Elvi, your email is like, your email list is not respecting people's wishes to unsubscribe. Here's a bunch of people. Somebody will post a picture of an email they got and say, unsubscribed, still getting these emails. And 5 different people will tag on. Yep, me too. Got this one this morning. So this week, I get yet another email, right? And I've tagged him in this probably 5 or 6 times in our group. I'm like, oh, look, another New Jersey, New York race I got an email for. Big surprise. This one, it's the Exchange Place Corporate Challenge. There you go. There's your free advertisement. So I post it and I tag Elvi in it and I say, hey, any chance you can fix this? So I get a message from him that says, hey, Josh, call me. Here's my phone number. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. He's going to, apologize and fix it and say, hey, I'm sorry, because that's what he's done in the past. He's posted in our group and said, sorry for the mix up. It's an issue with our mail list server. We're going to fix it for you, blah, blah, blah. So I didn't get a chance to call him right away. But what happens next is really what gets my goat.
Okay, hang on. Can I play the part of Elvi?
Sure.
Okay. So wait a minute. So first of all, who calls who? You call him or he calls you?
So that doesn't happen yet. So let me preface this. Okay.
I definitely want to play him on the phone call part though. But let me know when you're
all
ready.
Right. So I get the message, right? I get the message. Hey, Josh, call me. And I was like, all right. I was at work. What was I doing? I was at home. I was like, all right, I'll call him later. It's no big deal right now. Moments after that message comes through, I get a notification that Elvi Guzman has replied to an obstacle racing media post.
Oh, I forgot about this. I forgot about the post.
Unrelated to City Challenge. And he writes, and I quote, and I apologize for the vulgar language, but this is from him. He writes, Josh Chace always has a DK up his ass. That's short for dick. If you're going to just say it, then type it out.
Sure.
Always has a dick up his ass. If not, his girlfriend puts it there for him. The guy needs to get a life. He's a major Facebook troll / looser, LOOSER. And I don't mean to pick on grammar, but you spelled it wrong. And then he takes a screen cap of my video review of Greek Peak 2018 and puts it on there and he says, this face says it all. He then continues to go and post in multiple locations on completely unrelated threads that similar message. So I say, okay, you know what? Now I'm going to call him. you put your phone number out there. I'm going to call you. So I call him. The phone rings. He answers, and I say, "Hey, Elvi, it's Josh Chace. How are you?" Now hold on. I am starting this conversation perfectly civilly, right? I get that he's probably pissed and behind a keyboard, and it's easy to be an asshole on Facebook. If anybody gets that, I get that. I called him up and I was like, we need to resolve this. This is stupid. All I want is to stop getting emails for races that I cannot attend and that I will not attend. So I call him up, and Matt, what's the first thing he says to me?
Well, you say, "Hey, Elvi," and then I'll go and I'll be up.
All right. So, "Hey, Elvi, it's Josh Chace. How are you?"
Josh Chace, you are the biggest piece of shit in the world. You're a fucking Facebook troll. Fucking nobody believes you. You're a fucking asshole. Do the interrupting thing.
So I didn't even get a chance to interrupt. I was like, well, Elvi, our group really just wants to fix the fact that you're sending us emails all the time, and we wanted to stop.
Get to the part where you ask if you can record me.
Oh, yeah. So, okay. So he calls, and I said, all right, well, Eli, if you stand behind this feeling, then I'm going to record this call, and you can tell me what you really think.
You can fucking record. I don't fucking care. You're a fucking piece of shit, loser, fucking troll, cocksucker. I fucking hate. Am I close?
You're pretty close.
Now listen. Josh sent it to me, and I thought about playing it, but honestly, it's like, just trust us, guys. If you really fucking want it, you want to visit Josh, he'll play it for you on his phone or whatever. But trust me, this is what this guy is basically like talking to a 12-year-old, right? That's how my son curses at people when he's angry.
Right.
And again, I should say that I want to give Josh Chace credit. Josh did not fire back. Josh is so amused, as I was when I heard it. He's like, it's kind of like, this is kind of what I imagine it, right? When you're taller than someone, and you just put your hand out and they're like swinging at you like this, and you're just like, okay. I don't know if you're going to be able to describe what I'm doing for the audio listener.
It's like Spaceballs.
Yes,
where
exactly.
Lone Star holds the dude's head away and he swings his lightsaber.
Exactly. Yeah. So this is what happened: is these big swingers are coming at Josh, and big 7-foot Josh is like, okay, buddy, okay. And then Josh says, I'm pretty sure Josh says, okay, can I respond now? And it goes click. So,
yeah, and I'm like, okay, so Elvi, now that you've got all that out of your system, can I just explain why I'm calling you? And he hangs up the phone.
Right, you were still going to very calmly talk about the email thing. You weren't even going to say "fuck you" back.
That's literally all I wanted, was for him to figure out how to fix his email situation. Because again, in the grand scheme of things, this is nothing, right? You just unsubscribe from emails over and over and over again. It's just the point of it. And then the fact that he took it to this like whole other level, it's absolutely ridiculous. And the problem is, this is the guy who's running races, who's making claims, right, about his event, that it's like,
oh, wait a minute. Wait, let me add a piece of thing, because this is always my favorite. This is one of my favorite things. You've done nothing good in the world. I've donated $500,000 to whatever charity. That's always a good one.
Right. Also, he pointed out, and I didn't get a chance to respond, that all I do is talk crap from obstacle racing media. So thanks for being a fan, Elvi, and thanks for listening. And that I'm not a very good athlete. I did finish top 10 in my age group this weekend. But again, thanks for following my results. It literally was like having a 16-year-old kid call you and like cuss you out over the phone. I was shocked by it.
And then hang up. And listen, just so people are clear, like, we understand everybody's got skeletons, right? So when you say like, know your race director, because people might say like, oh, well, Joe DeSetta's a motherfucker and Will Dean's a motherfucker or whatever. So they've all got bodies buried somewhere. There's probably a sweatshop in China where the fucking medals are being made, right? Like, who knows? Yep. But this person, first of all, I think the disrespecting of the email can't be said enough. Like, once, twice, 3 times, a year later, like, you don't have enough respect and or sense to figure it out and respect your customer base. It's just not a good way to be. You know what I mean? Right. So that is something. And then when someone says on a public forum, I seem to be more offended by this than Josh. Josh has a dick up his ass that his girlfriend puts there. Now he's insulting your girlfriend too, and maybe calling you a homosexual, which is not very woke, by the way. Like, it's just so insane. It's just so insane.
So I heard from somebody else in the industry that maybe he was just having a bad day.
Right, sure.
And I gave him time. I'm not going to hunt the guy down for a response after that, right? He hung up the phone. He's done. That's fine. I said, you know what? I could post this right now. I could post the conversation to our group, and I'm going to be honest, I still might. I honestly still might. But I said I'm going to give him 24 hours to see if he realizes what the crap he did, and he'll go back. Well, maybe I should apologize or say that I had a bad day, and he hasn't. He hasn't said anything since then. He hasn't posted anything since then or whatever. But it was like, really? Was it? I was just incredibly taken aback. It really was laughable more than anything else.
Right. And again, to give him some out, I have done that. I have written things which I then went back and deleted. But the deleting happens either minutes or hours later, right?
Yep.
Certainly not days. But the cannon that he had loaded, right? When you called that number and picked up and it was like, roar, it's just it sounded like a 12-year-old. There's no apology coming. You can spend your dollar however you would like. We're just letting you know who City Challenge is. And now you can make a decision. And now Adrian can make a decision about OCRWC if he wants to do that. There you go. It's out there.
Moving on.
Now, do you still want to rant about people skipping burpees? I mean, come on, dude.
I do, but let's talk about the bigger thing that happened.
Oh, Jesus Christ. We need a different show. This might need to be a daily show. Do you know the show?
I can handle that.
Do you know the show Ariel and the Bad Guy?
I don't.
Ariel Helwani is
an ESPN show?
Ariel Helwani is the Matt B. Davis of MMA, or should I say I'm the Ariel Helwani of OCR. He's phenomenal. He started with his own blog, and now he's the voice of all those places. But I think their show's daily. Anyhow, the Spartan, what's becoming the DQ of the week. And I don't think we should focus on the part about what happened because it's been beaten to death. I think the more important conversation, and you tell me, is this the right direction? Because in the past it was always, we'll fix it next time. And now the direction is the hammer just drops, the sickle just drops, massive penalties everywhere, and eventually they'll sort it out so it'll be more fair. That's my kind of question.
So I thought about this a ton. And for anybody that lives under a rock and doesn't know what we're talking about, John Penland takes the inside route, does not jump over the actual fire, does not gain a place in the race. It did not affect the outcome of the race itself. And Spartan whacks him with the 10-minute penalty. And I don't know where the 10-minute penalty time frame came from. Is it fair? And is it the right penalty? Absolutely not. It really isn't. So this whole thing about the arbitrary 10 minutes that they assigned to Woods, they're now shackled by that, right? So
I thought
if they go
5.
back,
was it 5 to Woods or 10?
No, it was 10 minutes.
Okay.
So now they're shackled to that time frame, which means any infraction that is caught on film anywhere, right, they're now going to do this 10-minute penalty. And it's not in writing anywhere. They have not updated the rules PDF that's on Spartan Zendesk right now, which is ridiculous. You can't just post rules in meme form and put them on Instagram and think that that's the letter of the law.
What have we stated Spartan's preferred method of communication in 2019 is?
Well, it's the preferred method, but it's not the right one. So that's the easy one. I can have some designer whip up a meme in a second, but how about you go back and go to the rules committee or whatever they talked about that first time with Woods and design a document that is living and it is fluid and is the letter of the law when it comes to rules. The rules are still so open for interpretation in some areas, right? So the fire jump thing aside, yeah, did he make a mental error there? Absolutely. And I think John did a great job of owning up to it and saying, it was my mistake. The 10-minute rule thing just needs to go away. And what you need to do is say, what happened in that individual instance and what should the outcome be? And in my opinion, if Penland would have won by taking that inside track, all I would have done in the long run is bumped him a spot. That's it, right? Let's be honest. It shouldn't cost him 12 places in the race because of a micro fraction of a second decision. It's outlandish for that to happen. It cost Woods the national series. It's ridiculous.
If you apply the same burpee logic that they use, so in a 30 burpee scenario, if we catch you on film skipping 2 burpees, it's 30 seconds, I think, for each burpee until you get to a certain number, and then you're DQ'd because you're just trying to cheat. Like,
Right.
how long would it take to go back and complete that obstacle, whether it was Woods or whether it was Penland? Let's call it a minute, if anything, right? Even though it's really less. It's probably seconds. But if you want to call it a minute or 2 minutes based on that logic, what would have happened had we called it on the spot, which, by the way, is our fucking bad for not having a person on the spot? That seems to be the logical outcome. And this is my bigger issue, right? Because it kind of occurred, this kind of like occurred to me, so it should have occurred to them. Like, okay, so we've been doing this race for 7 years, right? We have, like, there's penalties and there's burpee counters and whatever. When it comes to decide what decides a winner, right? Would putting an official at the finish line to go, you're the winner, or you didn't finish properly, wouldn't that seem to be a good position to have? Like, forget you can't have someone at every obstacle. If you can't have Coble or someone else standing at the finish line going, no, you touched the truss, no, you went outside the fucking barrier, you need to go back or you're DQ'd, like, might be a good idea. Do you think it'll happen?
No, and Matt, here's the bigger problem. There are officials at these obstacles anyway, and this is going to lead me into my rant, and they don't give a crap. The officials are there, and they're standing there, and they wouldn't call out, okay, you're an official, and I don't know what these people get paid from Spartan. What do they get paid? Like $50 for an event to officiate? That
should be published somewhere too, by the way, because I don't know.
So I think it's like $50. So you get a training, right? And Asa Coddington, love him. He chimes in on every single rule conversation on Facebook ever. Talks about how they do this training before you're an official. You tell me if some like 20 or 30 something open waiver that's serving as the official that day is going to put their foot down when Ryan Woods runs by them and does something wrong. You're telling me that person is going to be like, no, Woodsy, you got to go back. It's a recipe for failure all around, Matt. And there has to be something that changes. And you know what has to change? And
obstacle racing.
No, not obstacle course, not obstacle racing. How obstacle racing is today is fine. And how it was 5 years ago was fine. You know what needs to change are the people. The elite athletes, great. I'm not pointing anything out to them. But the age groupers in San Antonio, and we've already been pretty vulgar on this episode, stop fucking cheating, you twats. How hard is it? Matt, I'm going to tell you a story. So I'm running the San Antonio
Can I get a refill of my coffee first? Because this is good. I need to get a refill of my coffee. All right, stand by. Take a breath. By the way, Josh, you fired up is kind of like really fun, by the way. This is really good. Okay. And by the way, here's what I've noticed. Quick side note about you. I know there are a lot of people out there that don't like me. There are a lot of people out there that don't like Josh. I am starting to get messages from people.
I'm sorry.
Well, it's funny because
message me if you don't like me. Honestly, tell me, because if my opinions or my view of where OCR is today is somewhere out in the stratosphere and it's not right, then tell me. Tell me, and I would love to hear anybody's opinion that could differ from mine. But I don't think I'm saying anything here that's like outlandish or absurd. I
don't either. But like LV, telling me you need to get a hold of your boy when he's, you know what I'm saying? When he's the one who said, if you had said dick up the ass, dude, Matt should know this guy's making some pretty horrendous homophobic comments, right? But all you're doing is this talking about what and anyway, it's just funny and it takes a little pressure off me. I don't want to be the guy. I used to be the guy picking fights with everybody. So now it can
That's
be
fine. You can be the host and I'll be the angry guy.
Do you want to fight Bro CR? Oh, no. You like those guys. All right, hang on.
No, I like those guys.
Okay. And I've made up with them too. I'm going to get coffee.
Go. Just go get coffee. Ridiculous. While Matt's gone, I'm going to give a plug, and he may or may not keep this audio in. But again, if you're not on our Discord server, you should join us because it's an amazing way to communicate with us and everybody else in the community. All the podcasters are there. The website is bit.ly/OCR Discord. There's a great app for your mobile device. Download it, chat. I will say I made a bet with Jason Dupree from OCR Talk this weekend. Jason is a massive fan of Hunter McIntyre. And he wanted a channel dedicated just to Hunter McIntyre. I'm telling the story about me and Jason's Hunter McIntyre bet. So if you like Hunter McIntyre, you can join because Jason and I had a bet. And if he beat me in San Antonio on Saturday, I had to make a channel on the server dedicated to Hunter McIntyre chat, and now it's there because Jason won. He's a faster runner. So
now, I need to ask you a quick question. Did you make that bet kind of knowing you would lose because it would kind of be fun to have the Hunter channel because you?
Yeah, 100%. I knew I wasn't going to beat him.
Okay, good, because I was a little confused. I was like, I think Jason's pretty in shape athlete. Like that was kind of
he is, and I went back and I was like, wait, let me look at your athlinks before I make this bet. And he like had it ready. He's like, oh, I'll tell you, you're 0-5 against me.
Nice.
I was like, nice. I'm like, okay, fuck it, let's do it. Why the hell not? And he goes, well, what if you win? And I said, we don't have to worry about that.
All right, good. Okay. And by the way, thank you for filling time appropriately.
Okay. So back to my sentiment about cheaters on the course. Matt, there is an epidemic of people that either are willfully or unknowingly cheating in obstacle course racing, specifically Spartan. And it is ruining this sport and the experience for people in age groups. And I don't think that's taking it too far. I'm going to give you an example. I was running the Super on Saturday in San Antonio. I was having a relatively good race. I'm in the barbed wire crawl, neck and neck with a guy who I know is not in my age group, but I'm just pacing with him because he and I are running a pretty similar pace. Now, we come to the rope climb. We climb the rope. No big deal. He runs ahead of me and gets to the spear throw, probably 20 yards in front of me. He takes the very first spear throw lane, throws it, misses completely. There is no way you could confuse this spear for going into the target. Straight up misses. This gentleman runs down to the very last spear throw lane and picks up a second spear. He throws that spear and misses. Matt, not even close to going into the target. He runs off past the burpee pit. I say, fuck this, right? I run after him screaming, Matt. And I say, yo, red headband, no shirt, you missed your spear. He turns around and goes, and there was another gentleman that I know that was right there spectating. He turns around and goes, oh, did it not stick in? Did it fall out? And he turned around and went to do his burpees. Now, this guy finished very well in his age group because I went and hunted down his pictures when they came out yesterday. And it is disgusting to see how many people are out there, again, willfully cheating, knowing they're cheating and not caring, or just not knowing the rules. Look at last week when the pictures from Alabama came out and we saw all the red headbands on Helix, just using the top, right? And I'll give most of them the benefit of the doubt because it's a new obstacle. Maybe you don't know the rules. You know the rules because the person's there yelling. But picking up spears, throwing them twice, right? Doing obstacles with help, getting help over walls from people with red headbands. If you're in last place and you have no chance of podiuming, that's not an excuse. Go run open. I don't care if you want to run and be done by 9:30. Get the hell out of the competitive waves and let people in there that want to abide by the rules. It's ridiculous. You know the other one that kills me? The no headphones and the no speakers, right? And this, again, it doesn't matter. This is stupid, right? But now I'm drawing a line in the sand because a guy showed up in the age group wave in San Antonio wearing an external speaker on his chest like he was Iron Man, Matt. It was ridiculous. And guess what? The volunteers right at the start line didn't say anything. He just walks right by. It's insane how many people just don't respect the sport. And that's what causes this sport to not be taken seriously. And it ruins the community because people are just literally killing each other on social media because I saw cheaters. Everybody's race when they finish should be, oh man, I had a great race. Or, oh, that fucking bucket carry got me again this time. Instead, it's, I saw so many people cheating. That pisses me off to no end. At the end of the race, I want to talk about how my race went, and I want to talk about exciting finishes. I don't want to talk about disqualifications, and I don't want to talk about how you saw 38 people cheating in front of you. It's ridiculous what they've done to the sport.
All right, I'm gonna go over here in Zen corner, Josh.
Okay,
right? I'm gonna be the Zen devil advocate. What if I said to you,
Would you say you're the Zen desk advocate too?
What if I said to you, you could treat those people much like your friend Elvi, in that you're the bigger person, your arm is out going, okay, cheater, like, you might have taken 2 spots a week for me today, or 1 or 5 or whatever it is, or cost me the podium. But I know who I am. I'm going to try harder next time.
I agree.
Josh is shaking his head, which the audio audience can't hear, so I have to. Now, so I'm not saying I wouldn't be mad, but I'm just throwing this out as an opposition.
Yeah, and that's what I'll do most of the time, right? And I think I just noticed it more in San Antonio because I also was out on the course afterwards filming and things like that. Can I ignore it? Sure. Can I just go on my day and not care? Sure. And can I work harder myself and run faster to get past those guys? Sure. But at the same time, they shouldn't fucking get away with it, right? They shouldn't get away with it repeatedly because then it becomes a trained behavior. Right? It's like a kid that cries for their device when they're shopping with their parents. I want the iPhone so I can watch friggin' YouTube. Okay, they do it once and then they're going to do it every single time. It's trained behavior and it's learned behavior and it's.
I want to look. I want to look here because, I haven't registered for a race in a bit, right? Mm-hmm. Or if I do, I just quickly pick whatever time and throw my thing in there. When you're Okay, I'm looking now. So we're looking at.
You're going to ask you if they have to acknowledge the rules when they register?
No, I just don't know when you get to elite, when you get to age group, when you get to morning, afternoon. I'm just wondering what it says, because like I'm thinking of the person who maybe doesn't know, who's just like I got a shit to do later today, right?
Yep.
Now, so that kid who said, "Oh, it didn't stick," clearly a liar, right?
Clearly a liar.
But people who don't know they can't help, etc. Like maybe they
also he wasn't a kid; he was a grown adult.
Everybody younger than me is a kid. I don't know.
He might have been older than you.
But I just don't know what it like says. Like rules matter, and then when you go to open, it says it doesn't. But the other part to me is that. Again, for people that are new, it doesn't matter. When you walk up to a Herkhoist, typically people are screaming, "Don't drop the bag!" And mm-hmm. I've had friends of mine, and this is how I know. Like when I did San Francisco Stadium, my buddy Rick was with me, and we were doing it, and he and I went to different bags, and I didn't explain anything to him. We were just going, and he lifted it and fucking dropped it, and some like ref was doing their job, screamed at him over and over again, like, "You dropped the bag!" And he looked at me like, "What is this guy screaming at me for?" Like he didn't know what was going on, right? So I do think that can happen, even though someone might be screaming as you get to Helix, "Don't touch the top, don't touch the side." You're in race mode, it's all noise, you don't necessarily hear. So I think there is some room with some of these things. No? Why are you shaking your head no?
Well, okay, I'll give you the example. I've run 5 age group series races this year. Jacksonville, Creek Peak, San Antonio this weekend. Every single one of them, they called out in the age group corral, "You're in the age group, you are swearing to abide by the same rules that the elites are enforced by," right?
How many people are in that corral?
I would say anywhere from 30 to 200.
Okay, right? So again, in my listening...
Here's why I say they know, Matt, because there's one other thing that they ask them, and that's, is anybody doing their first Spartan race today? And maybe 5 hands go up. So that means they've been there before, they've done it, they know the bloody rules, Matt. Stop giving these people passes. They knew,
Robbie. They knew.
And they are willfully.
Do you know what that's from?
I don't.
Okay, it's from Spotlight, and that is, everybody says Mark Ruffalo was overacting so bad in that moment, which I don't think he was, but it's become like a meme. You can Google "they knew" later. They knew, Robbie. We'll start playing that on the show over and over again. Yeah, and I think again, like I can sit here and be devil's advocate in one of those races that I'm talking about in my local 5K where I won an age group podium, and somebody cut the course on me, I'd probably be as mad. So I'm being real. Like I'm not necessarily always going to be the Zen master. So I can see that in the moment. But then later, I think I would probably calm down. And I think that I certainly wouldn't say it's ruining the sport. I would just say that it's human nature. Wherever there are people to cut corners, people will cut corners. And then some people's cutting corners is I'm going to give you an example. Okay? This is like I don't know what corner this is. When somebody famous gets caught for being a cheater, being, what do you call it, infidelity, and they like go off on that person, and it's like, so you've never cheated, like even on your 8th grade boyfriend, like, and then it's like, oh well, did making out with somebody but not screwing them count as cheating? Like, people kind of have this idea in their heads of like to like point the finger at people. And no one is without sin, right? When a drunk driver kills somebody, which is horrible, people will like basically like string them up, and it's like, oh, like, because you never did that in your whole college life, you know what I mean? So it's just like, I don't know where I'm going with this, Josh. But rein us back in.
You took the very biblical line of, let ye without sin cast the first stone, or something like that. I don't know.
I guess I don't think it's ruining the sport. I think you're always going to have cheaters, and I think.
Maybe it's not ruining the sport as much as it's ruining the community for me. I think that's really where I'm going. Is I feel like the OCR community used to be this helpful, supportive, and there is still that facet of it, right? And if you're in the right circles of people, that's still definitely there. But there's more and more negative tones in the community, I think, and it's not helping. I think is where I'm going with that one.
All right. Well, listen. Remember when the show was going to try to be like 7 minutes each week?
Yeah. Remember when the show wasn't as good as it is now, though? Oh,
good point. Can we leave on a high note? Can we talk about my run-in with the one and only OCR network, or is it OCRM?
Obstacle Course Racing Network.
Can we talk about that?
Absolutely.
I just want to know your thoughts on my video that I put up yesterday, which has over 2,000 views currently because people love it.
So I don't know who that is. I don't know if she expects that I know who she is. I don't know that she knows who she works for. I don't know that she knew she was even on the right race course. And I don't know what the takeaway was from her loud, shouty advertisement.
That had you watched her, you'd know where to go. Although I didn't notice later that she actually went the wrong way. That was the end of the course where.
Well, in your video clip at the end, she goes, "I think we go this way."
But she was actually wrong. But she was wrong. That was the end of the course.
Well, if you watched, you would have gotten all the pre-race coverage you would have needed to know where you're going.
I was disappointed. I already talked about this on my podcast. The other one. I was greatly disappointed in Bone Frog, and at this point, it is hard for me. I want to give them the benefit of the doubt, but it's really hard this many years in to have those kinds of mistakes. That was my overall feeling, was like what's forgivable kind of thing, and it's like they've been around as long as Savage, and you run a Savage and you don't have those experiences. Is Savage perfect? Of course not, but it's a very different experience. That's kind of my whole point with all of that, and I know that like. Any Spartans are very close to those guys because they started up there. But what is your thoughts? And then we'll go. I promise.
Well, I haven't run a Bone Frog in a couple of years because when they got Norm involved, I checked out immediately. The idea of Norm just killing you with mountains is not fun to me at all. And actually, I think it sort of turned a lot of people off from Bone Frog. That race they did in May it was either May or October. I don't remember which one it was. I think it was May. But that race they did in May at Berkshire East, where their original race was, the people were just hating the course, like the bushwhacking up too steep, like climbs one after another. That stuff isn't cool anymore. Like, it's cool to post on Facebook.
You just became like somebody's dad. Like, hey guys, smoking's not cool.
I just feel like. The obstacles, especially with Bone Frog, the obstacles have to be the focus, not the mountain. Man, you make the worst possible face when you cough. And I think it turned people off a little bit from it, and I think they're still struggling to get back to that. Now, I will be at Bone Frog in September, I think it is, in Barrie, Mass. I'm not going to do the mountain Bone Frog anymore just because it's too early in the year, and I don't want to get into that right away. So. We'll see. I'm also doing Savage in a couple weeks, so I'm looking forward to that. And it's an exciting year already. I'm feeling pretty good.
All right. Well, I've got Savage this weekend, speaking of which, and then 2 big travel weeks in a row, LA Mutter, Seattle Spartan. So Fast, man. We're in it. We are in it.
We are in the thick of it, my friend. Stop cheating.
Wow.
That's what I'm going to leave people in.
Hot take, Josh Chace.
I don't think it's a hot take. And I want to hear from people, okay? You can find me on Instagram. It's Josh in HD, as if I'm a television and I am in high definition. Josh in HD. Message me. Don't message Matt and say, Matt, reel your boy in, right? Send me a message and tell me if I'm off base, right? Find me on Facebook. Send me a message with your phone number and I'll call you. I don't care. Like, if I'm on this island alone of thought, then I want to know about it. And maybe I'll change my ways. Maybe I won't. We'll see.
I keep taking screenshots hoping one's going to come out good. None of them are coming out good.
Do you want me to like pose for an egg?
Yeah, there we go. Angry
Okay.
Josh. No, do it again. Do it again. Do it again.
Wait.
Do it again. That's amazing. This is perfect. This is the Josh we're experiencing. Angry Josh. Okay, so you're where this weekend?
I'm actually nowhere this weekend. I got a weekend off, and then we are going to Charlotte, North Carolina for the Super.
I can't believe how many fucking Spartans you do. It's amazing.
Well, they're the only ones running this early in the season. Like, Savage is just getting into it. Bone Frog just kicked off. Tough Mudder hasn't kicked off.
But rather than come just like 1 hour more south to Atlanta and hang with me, you're going to Charlotte. Like, you could be hanging with me.
Charlotte, North Carolina, first off, is not 1 hour away from Atlanta, Georgia.
It's a 3-hour drive. It's a 1 hour flight.
Yeah, but it's Atlanta. I don't know what the flights are doing to Atlanta, but they are not cheap anymore. That's for sure.
Weren't you going to come here for the Atlanta Spartan Ragnar weekend?
We were until we couldn't find less than like a $270 round trip flight. Boston to Atlanta. Who'd have thought that was so expensive?
Have you looked into the Terrain Airlines of the sky?
I fly Terrain Airlines frequently. I flew JetBlue this past weekend, and they, without charging me anything, upgraded me to free extra legroom seats because I said I was 6'4", and that was it. They were just like, "Sure, have these seats." I don't get that on Spirit. So,
all right. Well, Josh, I wish every day was Obstacle Discourse Day. Tell people where to find the group that we're in.
I already did while you were away, but I'll tell them again. It's the website is bit.ly/OCR Discord, DISCORD. Join up, download the app, stay in touch with everything because it seems like months in between Obstacle Discourse episodes, and I wish it could be less, but I think it gives us time to get fired up and get excited about it. So,
all right. Have a good week, my friend. Talk to you soon.
Later, my friend. Take care.
That was your weekly Obstacle Discourse with Davis and Chace. These do come to you every Thursday. There are new episodes every Tuesday, the full-length interview style episodes, or me at the finish line, or whatever the heck else I do. Those are the regular episodes every Tuesday, every Thursday in your ears. Josh and I talking about the latest news. You can donate to Patreon. Go to patreon.com/Obstacle Racing Media, and that's a way for you to contribute because you love this content so much. Thanks for listening.